Welcome back to my channel, guys. I am doing my March update for starting the new business of selling my journals. And as I've said previously, is that I want to take this business on the road. I've always wanted to travel around the United States, travel around the world, making money. So my main goal for this business to show you guys is it possible to live on the road selling at only pop-up shops during the weekdays? So those days could be Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And during December, it's usually Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday that you will be selling at. So you will be spending your Mondays through Thursdays or Mondays through Fridays making your product. Whatever that product may be, you may be a hand crafter, you may be a antique seller, you may be a baker, but I wanted to show you guys this option on can you make this work and travel around. I eventually want to get an RV and do this full time, but I am working my way up. Here are some facts about these markets before I jump into the numbers. Markets usually start booming with profit around April, May, I want to say. So at the tail end of spring. I actually wanted to start making money from February, which is actually really, really early for the season. Seasoned vendor people don't typically do any events in February. They usually either take January to February off, or they're just doing like restocks of their products. So just spending those months creating and stuff. So I think next year for January, I will probably take the full month off or half the month off just to travel and relax and then make products. I think I would still do some February events because February was good. If you haven't seen that February video, I have that posted on my channel. Maybe I can link it down somewhere, either in the video, in the description box, or in the comment section where you guys can see my monthly total for it. But again, February, you're not gonna make as much money, but making some money is better than making no money, in my opinion, especially if you're trying to go on the road with this. You wanna make as much money as possible throughout the whole entire year. So with that in mind, my March was better than my February, but nowhere as good as my April. So, and it's May right now. I'm not doing as many events in May because I am taking a vacation, but that is a story for later. So I did skip one weekend in March. So I feel like I would have made more money if I hadn't skipped it. So I have all of my stuff written down because I make handmade leather journals, handmade suede journals, faux suede journals. I'm starting to make handmade leather purses, and I make leather bookmarks, and I engrave jewelry. So that is all of the things that I make for these markets. I will start adding in more stock. I want to start making bookshelves out of antique books, and I want to start making more handmade backpacks and purses to add into my stock because I noticed that I make more money when I do that. You want to diversify your pop-up as much as possible so that there's something for everybody. So let's get into the numbers. I did 4 events for the month of March. I could have done 5 events, but I took off to go to my kids' volleyball game, mom life. So sometimes you have to give things up for them. So my first one was the first week of March, and it was called the Augusta Spring Festival. It was about an hour and a half from where I live. We spent $88 on gas, and the booth fee for that event was $143, and I added in 2 tables. So I didn't want to bring my tables along with me on that drive, so I rented 2 tables. I don't remember how much those tables were, but my total in all was $143. I am starting to realize I'm going back and forth between do I like 1-day events, do I like 2-day events, do I like 3-day events. It's just so hit or miss until you find out where you fit in perfectly with these markets. So you have to do all of these. So this whole year is experimenting with which markets are good, which markets am I willing to travel for, and which markets fit my target market the best. So keep that in mind. This was a 1-day event, an hour and a half away from me. Here is the total for each category of items that I sell for expenses. So I spent my jewelry necklaces cost me $7.50 in all for the total bulk that I had. My rings were 40 cents. My backpack with a total of $13. Remember guys, this is the expense total to acquire these items. My suede notebook, so the paper, the outside pieces of it, all of that of what I sold was $44 in stock. My leather journals cost me about $40 in stock as well. And then my sketchbooks, whether they be big or small, they cost me in total $25 to acquire all of that. So I sold a total number of merchandise to acquire that merchandise was $129.90. So, you know, we already got the merchandise total and the booth total adding up in there. And then I told you my gas was $88. So the total expenses all together, booth fee, merchandise fee, gas, was $360.90, which is not bad when you're making a lot of money, right? But I only made $618 at that one day event. If it had been 2 days, I probably would have been decent with how much I made. Maybe I could have done $600 a day, which would have made over $1,200 for the weekend, but it was only one day. I only profit $257.10. Mind you guys, I do my taxes up front for any event that is not in my area. So each county of where you go, a lot of them have you fill out your tax permit in advance, and then you can send your taxes of what you perceive that you're going to make in advance to them. Other ones, right after the event, you can send in the taxes you collected. So this is me already subtracting the tax from it that I've already paid to them. I think maybe for my May event, I started actually calculating and writing down those tax amounts. It's not a lot. A lot of people think that you're going to be paying a lot in taxes, but when you're only doing 1 or 2 day events in like that area, you're paying like $4 to $20 in taxes. So it's actually not that much money. The next one was the week after that. It was another one-day event. It was the Roanoke St. Patrick's Parade. The reason why I signed up for this event is because I actually didn't have anything scheduled for that weekend, and I was literally trying to find any last minute events that would allow me to still apply for them, and thankfully I did. I was scouring for weeks trying to fill this one spot that I had, because you know, if you're gonna make a living off of this, you don't want to not work a weekend. You want to work as many weekends as you can. I finally found one. They let me in maybe 2 weeks to a week before the actual event, and the booth fee was $150. I actually kind of thought that this was a scam because I was like, they're letting me in at such a last moment, which is a red flag. Letting you in at the last minute, and then what was it? It was they let me in at the last minute, and the fact that they had booths locations still available, that kind of makes me think that it's not a really good event to get in. So you still have booths available a week or 2 weeks before the event, and you're letting me in last minute, red flag. So I was kind of scared that I signed up for a scam, but I was on the official website. They weren't sending me information until 2 days before the event, and I'm kind of new to traveling around for these events, so I was like, is this normal? I feel like we should have all this information at least a few days before the event. So it was not a scam. It was a one-day event. Roanoke is about 3 hours away from us, so we drove there. Here is the total amount of the stock that cost me to acquire. My necklaces cost me $13.50 for the bulk of what I sold. The rings were $3.20. The suede sketchbook journals, so getting the paper, acquiring the outside, acquiring the knitting, was $50. The purses were $4. The leather was $56, and the bracelets were $4.50, giving me a total merchandise fee of $131.20. Not bad. The gas was $112 because it was further going to and from, and the vehicle was bigger. So the total expenses with booth and merchandise and gas was $393.20. Again, not bad. It's not bad. But again, it's just a one-day event. And I ended up making $769. I really go into these events wanting to make $1,000. If I'm traveling to an event, I expect to make at least $1,000, which is, I can live off of that for a one-day event. So if you're doing Saturday and Sunday and you make $1,000 each, that's $2,000 for 2 days of work. So not hitting those numbers are kind of hits you in the gut, because you want to be able to get more stock and to live off of it and to live comfortably off of it. I want to go shopping for clothes. I want to go out to eat and stuff like that. So put that all together, I only profit $375.80 from that event. So here are some notes that I was noticing about myself, which I was okay with because I was a beginner. I was selling my leather pieces low price because I wanted to make a profit, and you always devalue your work when you first start. So now at every event, I add $3 to $5 onto my pieces to see if they sell, and if they sell well at that price, then I will continue on with that price. So I hadn't raised prices in March until the last week, and you guys will see that. So set $375.80. Can't live off of that for one day. For the whole, that's my 1 week salary, so can't live off of that. I don't think traveling out of town for one day events are good, so I think I'm gonna stop doing that unless there are no other events that I cannot get into anywhere near me, because I still want to fill up that spot. Business and pleasure, you can mix it. You know, if I make, let's say I'm doing a Sunday event and I know I make around $1,700 for that event, and Saturday is not full, then I would say that it's worth traveling an hour, 2 hours out for an event that maybe I'll only profit $400. I don't know. You guys put that down below. Is it worth your time to profit $400 and to also have fun and to be in a cool area and stuff? You let me know down below. My next event was the third week, and it's actually the day after the Roanoke event. So the Roanoke event was Saturday, and the next one is called Second Sunday, and it was on a Sunday. So I literally drove home right after that, re-upped on stock, made some stuff as fast as possible, and then Sunday came around and I was back at it. So the booth fee for this one was $125. It is only a 20-minute drive away from me. My stock amount that cost me was $14 for the backpacks, $3 for the wallet. My necklaces cost me $28.50. My rings cost me $1.60. My suede and sketchbooks cost me $85. My bracelet was $3, and my leather was $80. So that gave me a total of merchandise of $215.10. So mind you guys, when you hear this low cost of merchandise, this is just out of what I sold. So I'm not adding up that I spent $500 on 5 or 6 pieces of leather. It's just how much square foot to make that journal with the paper, with the sewing, and then I add that all together, and that's per journal times how many I sold. So I want to give you guys that clarification. I spent $10 on parking for Second Sunday. My total expenses with booth fee, merchandise fee, and parking was $350.10. Yay. I ended up making the most I had ever made to this date of March, not right now, not May, is $1,061. It was such a good event, and I hadn't raised prices up there yet, so I just sold significantly more merchandise. My profit for that was $710.90 for working just one day, so that was pretty cool. I was so happy, so happy for that one. The last event was at the end of the month. I skipped one weekend, and then also this last event was only a one-day event. So this is why I feel conflicted on, do I travel for one-day events or do I not? Because this was our best one-day event that we did in March. So the booth fee was only $50. Love that that was only $50. It was an hour and 40 minutes away from where we live. The gas was $78. I'm sorry if you guys can hear my dogs barking. They're outside right now. I ended up raising one of my leather journals by $5. So I was selling them usually at $35, and I started making refillable journals, leather journals, and I raised them to $5 more. So $40 I was selling those refillable journals for. And I sold about a few of those. So the merchandise was $212.60, gas was $78, booth fee was $50. My total expenses was $340.60, and I ended up making $1,363 at this one-day event that wasn't even 8 hours long. I think it was 6 hours long or something. It was such a good event. It was a great event, and I ended up profiting after all of that was taken out with $1,224.40. Now, in gross, so how much I made in all, not subtracting expenses and just adding in the profit, was $3,811. I ended up totaling profit at my booth fees cost $468 in all. Not bad for the booth fees. My booth fees are going up to more expensive now because I am doing bigger events, but that is for a later video. So my total profit, taking away gas, taking away booth fees and all of that, I ended up getting a total monthly profit of $2,366.20, which is $300 more than February. Is that enough to live on the road? Would you guys be comfortable, considering maybe you don't have kids, it's just you to take care of, or maybe your husband, maybe some dogs like I have. Could you live comfortably on the road with that much money? Let me know. So I am getting way better at profiting, I will say that. Remember, beginning of spring is still iffy, so bringing in $2,000 for the beginning of spring markets, I would say is decent for me right now. Maybe other people do more than that. Seasoned people who already know where they fit in and make great money during February and March, maybe they do better than me. But this is my first year traveling around doing this, so you know, I will find those markets that I always do great at, and I will no longer be hitting $200 profit days, $300 profit days. It's all about trial and error, and I'm good with that. So come back for my March update. Let me know if you guys like these updates to see, you know, creating a small business and going on the road with it. I like showing people on my channel different ways of making money and different lifestyles that you can afford making that money. So let me know what you guys think down below. Do you think it's worth it or not? Let me know. I would love to hear from you guys. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.